Hi YouTube, welcome back. I promised you a little bit of a game update, a little explanation of what the Realms of Mindrin Wars is all about. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to give you a quick little overview on the gameplay. Now if you haven't checked that YouTube video, the how-to video with our friend Zagru, he is our orc chieftain, the leader, the great orc, then just come watch me. So basically, our game, like I said in my intro video, was that our game is kind of a cross between our elevator pitch is Exploding Kittens and the old card game War meets in Middle Earth. You know, those orcs and elves and dwarves and all that. So basically, what happens in our card game is everyone is given, everything's backwards in the video here. So you have to switch that around. But you get 6 character cards, 6 attack cards, and 6 of the defense cards. And if I'm attacking somebody like you out there, I'll flip over my character card first, which in this case is our friend Oguna. He is like our level 60. 60 is the highest level you're going to find in the card, and there's only one of each in each category. So 1 character card, 1 defense card, and 1 attack card is what you will find for level 60. Then there's 2 55s in each category, and then everybody else is kind of sporadic in their numbers of what you can find, the 45s and the 50s. So in this case, I pull the big 60. This is Zagru, and just for video fun, I drew him with his weapon. So that gives me, right off the bat, 120. Can you see me? 120 points right there. However, we have a icon bonus up here in the corner for the undead. So that gives you another plus 10. So in reality, you have 130 points right here. 60 and 60 is 120 plus that 10 gives you the extra for that extra over the top. Now, if you're defending, you defend, you pull your character card, which in this case is a 45. This is Thala. She is one of our good guys in the storyline. She's a female dark elf who decided she had enough with the dark elves' ways because they were dipping into the dark magic, which is how they became dark and mysterious after they've absorbed so much of Oguna's power, unbeknownst to them. But we'll get into the story at another time. So in this case, I drew Thala, and I drew her amulet. So, irony, huh? Oh, so I pull the 2 cards together, and that gives me 90, but it only gives me a total of 100. So in this case, I win with Oguna, and you discard your character card, bye-bye, and the winner, who would be me or Oguna, grabs a loot card, which in this case is just straight loot. So, because some of our cards are are bogeys, they fly in and they fly out, and they can either help you or hinder you. They can be used against your opponents, or they can be damaging to your goal in the game. In our game, you have 2 options to win this game. So in the beginning of the game, you can all dictate, hey, do we want to play to the person who has the most loot wins, or the last man standing wins? So that right there dictates how the game unfolds and how you play the game and how you utilize your loot. There's bogeys, like I said, like this card here. This forces me to change my defense deck with somebody else. That could be great. That could be horrible. If I'm popping that level 60 defense card and I know it's in my deck, I have to reluctantly give that deck to somebody else. Or I may know that person has that card, so I might switch it out, and I get the card. So that's basically how the game plays as a general. And then with the expansion auction house allows you to take your auction or your winnings, your loot, and purchase cards in game that can help you win. Now also those cards kind of are different. Some are great if you're playing last man standing, and others are great if you're playing to the most loot. And in that case, if you're playing to the most loot, when you're dead, you're not necessarily out of the game. There are ways there's Gravedigger cards where people can come in and snag your loot. However, if you have an auction house card that prevents that from happening, then you might still end up winning. And we have a card which is an homage to our buddy Jack Layton, who's one of my business partner, and who's been in a couple of our Facebook live videos. It's called Jack Squat, and you get nothing. You get the Jack Squat. You have to take your loot and pass it to the person to the left. So you get nothing unless a person to your right gets that card, because there's two in a deck, and they pass their deck over to you, and you can still win. So we have, I kind of explained a little bit the exploding kittens portion of this, and part of that is because there are landmines in the game, and there's one per person in the deck when you're playing, and what happens is if you draw that card, it's an instant win for your partner, for your opponent, because it blows you up. And but there are characters like the Gremlins, who are kind of like your gremlins, that can diffuse it. Or you have the Grand Tinkerer, who is like the leader of the Gremlins, and he can reverse the effects of the mine back to you. And those are the landmines right there. You draw that, it's an instant bye-bye and an instant win for your buddy, for your friends there. And that's part of the fun of it. So having those bogeys in there that can help or hinder, and being able to use your loot that you win so that you can actually purchase, it starts to build that strategy. So do I want to spend it? Do I not? I'm the worst with this auction house thing. I can't hold on to loot to save my life. And everyone will tell you right there that I'm always going to spend my loot. It's hard to hold on to that stuff, especially when a good card comes up. And as I was referring to Exploding Kittens, we have an I Say Nay card, which is kind of the nope card-ish, but this card is utilized against specific cards. Most cards that can be used against you, like the bogey cards. However, there are things like the mine it doesn't work against, and we have another card called the Orc Quill, which is like this catapult basket launching a bunch of arrows across the battlefield and wipes out everybody's top character card, which saves you but annihilates everybody else and gives you an instant win. So unfortunately, the nope, or the I Say Nay card has no benefit to cards like that. So that's where I wanted to introduce to you a little bit of the game, and I will give you guys a little backstory here on the next video about what Mindrin is, how it started. I'll give you kind of an overview. I won't bore you. I was like reading you a nighttime story, so that you can kind of get a feel for what the world is like in Mindrin. I'll see if I can do a fast Cliff Note version, and maybe throw a couple pictures up here and there. I'm getting a little bit more savvy and learning and teaching myself here a little bit more about editing. So I'm hoping that as I go, these videos are going to start just getting better and better. And we can look at that first video, that pancake, and just rip it to shreds. Because the first time I launched it, which was today actually, I had a little issue with the music in the beginning. So great music in the beginning, but all you heard from me was, and that was about it for like the first 40 seconds. But I think I fixed it, and I promise I'm going to get better at this. So, because I want you to be able to share and hear everything I'm saying. So, with that said, stay true, stay cool. Look forward to talking to you again. Love you. Yeah, I said it. YouTube out.